Get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, and today I'm joined with one of our partners and co-host, Mr. Chris at Las Vegas Chris, one of our top handicappers and residents here at Fifth Street. We are on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. We're also on the American Forces Network, and we got Chris in the house. Chris, how you doing today on a beautiful Monday afternoon in Vegas?
Well, I guess I'm filling in for those spoiled guys that they were fortunate enough to see Alabama, LSU live, and St. Louis, New Orleans live, and traveling the circuit there. I'm a little envious of the weekend they had, even though it wasn't neither one of those games was profitable for us this weekend. Alabama, that was men against boys, I'll tell you that.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, what he's speaking about is Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick, two of our other co-hosts here that are on us weekly. They obviously were bragging how they were going to be going down to the LSU game and then going to catch the Saints game, both of them down in Louisiana, while the little people over here, it's just stuck in Vegas. But it's not so bad to be stuck in Vegas. But anyways, they went to go see a couple of, one was a great game, and one was a 29-0 Alabama rout job. That had to be boring, being an LSU, don't you think?
Well, that was ugly. I did a video handicapping that game, and I gave out LSU on that, and I knew I was done before the end of the first quarter. It just, like I said, men against boys. I don't know who can touch them this year, but as a Michigan Wolverine fan, I'm looking forward to the prospects of the Wolverines possibly facing them down the line. As long as they take care of business against Rutgers, that's going to be a tough game for them, and then they've got to slide by Ohio State in the championship game.
Right. Well, I think the only team that can even give Alabama any kind has got to be Clemson. That's just about it.
Yeah, they gave out the advanced lines on this, and they have Alabama favored by 8.5.
Wow.
And they'd have Michigan at 14. They'd have Ohio State even worse, maybe about 17.
How about Notre Dame?
Notre Dame, I think, was the same as Michigan at 14. I'm not 100% sure on that, though.
You know what, though? After when we get back, we'll talk about this because we got to take a break here. When we get back, I wouldn't go up against Alabama no matter what. But folks, we'll be right back. It's Las Vegas Chris and Frank on Fifth Street Sports. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Hi, folks. We're back here on 5th Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. By the way, you can also catch us on Facebook.com/5th Street Sports Talk and on Twitter at 5th Street Sports. My name's Frank Perez, and I'm joined with my partner and co-host Chris Zennick. You can catch him he's at Las Vegas Chris on Twitter. Boy, he's really glad to have him in the house. He really knows his stuff, comes super prepared for the show, which we got some great topics. We got some betting angles, also a lot of interesting stories that developed over the weekend. You know, it's Monday. We've had a big weekend, NFL, college football. You know, we're going to recap some of the games and also some of the money things that happened during this weekend. So, Chris, from your info, because I know you're really up on this, these sports books, they got drilled again this weekend?
Yeah, you know, yesterday was an absolute bloodbath. Nobody won. It was Jay Root from MGM said it was one of the 10 worst days that they've ever had. Estimates are over $5 million in losses in Vegas and another $2 to $5 million outside of Vegas. So a total of $7 to $10 million down the drain for the sports book. So, you know, boo-hoo. Yeah. But, you know, the thing that makes that so tough is when we're running well, actually the books are running well. So, right. Yesterday was personally a horrible day for us, uncommonly bad, and it's funny how that works out. That the few times that the books do have horrible weekends, we also have horrible weekends. In fact, I was looking at at this one site that had a listing of all the games, and the 9 most popular games, they lost them all.
Really?
0-9. They couldn't get any of them. They got a minor win on Miami and a minor win on another game. But overall, it was just a complete and utter bloodbath. And what makes this really tough is they've got a lot of liability going into Monday night. As we've talked about in the past, you know, the books are just happy to be in an even position where they, you know, after a Monday night with all the parlays that are going into them. So they've got a lot of liability they still have to face, probably both directions.
You know, like we've always mentioned that, because, you know, I've been in the back end of a lot of these sports books. People think that on Monday night that the books make a fortune on a Monday night game. It's a big high profile game. Same thing with Sunday night. Believe it or not, if the books get through Monday night, they're really, really happy, because you got to understand every parlay and teaser closes on Monday night. So they're paying, you know, 6-1 on 3-teamers, 12-1 on 4s, 25-1 on 5s. These are all closing, and they got even money. This is an even money game, but those positions are terrible for the book. If they get out of this game, even or anything close to even, they're happy to just turn the page and move forward. But it's funny how you say that, like we had a bad week, and so do a lot of sharps, and that's when you say like the books got crushed because there were so many square games. Like the public always tends to lay the favorite and over. So when you have the Bears and over, Kansas City and over, all these big favorites, and even all the favorites winning too, like Minnesota winning.
Well, actually, the breakdown on that it was the 6 big favorites won,
right,
and then the little dogs won. So, and those are the types of dogs that the public can stomach. So
correct. Even the Patriots, they come back to Patriots and win on Sunday night just to add, topping, icing on the cake for that. How about and you're right. Even the little dogs that won, a lot of people were on New Orleans at home and New Orleans and over.
Yep.
I mean, they just had to get crushed. Not only that is, I think some of the books even lost to the sharps because all the Wong positions won. All of them won. They went 7-0 on all Wong teasers. All of the Wong teasers won. So imagine just them getting drilled on favorites and over to the public, Wong teasers to the sharps, and college
and the accumulating parlays.
Right.
The several books said by the start of the afternoon games there was no coming back. Think about that. There was no recovery to be seen. They already knew they were going to have a losing day before the afternoon games even started. And you're talking about a big action game with St. Louis involved, and you've got and Green Bay, New England. So it really is remarkable.
You got you got to love it. I mean, the players, the weekends that they win, good for them. I mean, these books win all the time. That's just the way it goes. But we're moving on to a big game tonight. Chris.
I've actually got to interrupt you guys here for a second. We got somebody on Facebook, Kurt Morgan, coming in. Thanks for your NASCAR guest last week. After listening to him, I took action on Harvick to win at Texas Motor Speedway yesterday, and he hit. Freaking awesome.
Kurt, you're welcome, buddy. Okay, all of the people that have stuck with us here on 5th Street that have watched all of our shows, I don't think you guys understand the quality of the guests that we've had on here. I know we're a little show and we're just getting started, but between Alan Michaels right at Trackside, we've had Crackman, the Wizard of Odds. Chris has brought in Brian Leonard. We've had guests that are behind some of the sharpest in the industry with great material. We've shared a lot of winning strategies and angles for you to win. But like Alan Michaels, he's going to come back, by the way, Kurt. He's going to come back not this week, but next week, just before the finals that they race in Florida, because there'll only be 4 people that are qualifying for it. So he said he'd love to come back and share his topics, his picks, his take on it. Remember, he has good angles on like who's not going to win. Put it that way. They're not going to let a certain guy win because teams have 3 and 4 cars on the track. But when he comes back, he'll share all that stuff with us. He's a great guest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and this leads into another important thing is, people watching or listening, feel free to come in and send in your questions, comments, or observations. We've got time on our hands to address those issues. This is supposed to be talk that you can bet on. This is supposed to be semi-tutorial, semi-observational, and don't feel too shy to participate.
Absolutely. As the show is talk, you can bet on. We try to make it as entertaining as we can, and obviously you're getting some of the sharpest stuff from Chris here. You got Oklahoma Brian, Florida Rick, all of our guests. So pay attention to this. You're getting things that you're not getting on other shows. We're not heavily into trends and stats and all kinds of these stuff. That's all 50-50 stuff because that's the same thing that the books have, but they get $1.10. So we try to come at you with angles. We look at some of the sharpest accounts. We even fade the biggest. People don't really realize the power of fading some of the biggest losers. Because when we look into sharp accounts, we have accounts that are going 58, 59%. We love them. We follow them. We put that stuff out. But on some of the losers accounts that we know these guys are 6, 8, 10-year constant losers, these losers, they go 32%, 33%. That's even stronger.
Well, that opens up a whole nother talk of discussion because we do, as a hobby on the side, we have another thing that we do where people have access to our picks. And, I was read the Riot Act for, what I released yesterday, and I understand it. They're frustrated. It brings to light that if you find somebody good, you follow them. If you find somebody that's bad, that can be equally as valuable. One of the things that I see people doing that's a mistake. I don't think that there's necessarily There's a lot of people resistant to buying picks and such. There's a lot of pros that buy picks. They won't tell you that, and part of that is, fading people. Is there a better time to fade somebody than when they're, on a hot streak and they're running 75% for, a stretch? They have to revert back to the mean. So that's potentially a great time to get on a hot capper and just start fading them. And then vice versa, if you've got long-term winners that are on a cold streak and you're noticing that and you're not a regular customer, that's the best time to pop in. So
It certainly is. When we come back after this break, this is very important because tomorrow starts our favorite sport. Chris and I really have crushed college basketball for the last 3 seasons that we've really gotten into it. We have great accounts that we look into. We don't do much of the capping ourselves. We let the great guys do the capping, but we follow them, we spy on them, we get good stuff. It's college basketball, and that one is very powerful, guys, because they play every day. It's so important to get the right line. When we come back, we're going to take a break. It's Las Vegas Chris and Frank Perez will be back on 5th Street. Stay tuned.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
All right, folks, we're back here on Fifth Street Sports. We're on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network, also on the American Forces Network, iHeart. We're starting to get all over the place. My name's Frank Perez. I'm joined with my co-host and partner, Chris Zenik, at Las Vegas Chris, by the way, on Twitter. Guys, I just got to, this is a show, it's, talk you can bet on. So before we get into the next segment with Chris, because he's got a real interesting topic here, what's happening in Vegas, I wanted to give out a really strong game. Some of our two constituents, Mr. Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick, who are traveling game to game, while the little people are over here working. We got a really good NBA selection for you tonight. It's game 514. See, we're going to throw this in between segments because, of course, you want to hear some entertaining stuff that's going on in the gaming industry, but then you want to hear something we can make some money on. We got game 514, Utah tonight, +2 at home. What people don't really realize is that Toronto just played a game with the Lakers. Now they're traveling over to Utah, which is a classic games for us because they got to go to that altitude. And you don't really realize when everybody usually uses this angle when they go to Denver. Well, Utah is only 260 feet less than Denver. So with Toronto traveling over to Utah in back-to-back games and Utah getting 2 points at home tonight in this altitude, we believe. And also, one of the trends we're going to like a little bit, we might make a small play depending on the number, is the under in the second half of this game. Teams usually run out of gas. But we really like Utah tonight at home, +2 against Toronto. Toronto's traveling. All right, so with that being said, Chris, fill us in on this MGM and Caesars. What are they trying to do to this town?
Oh, that's the new news. This is pretty bizarre. Caesars is accepting or trying to work out something with MGM now to merge. Okay. Now that's like AT&T merging with T-Mobile, or wow. That would be something really huge. I don't look at it as a good thing at all, personally. No. It's actually really fascinating how Caesars is evolving lately, though, because I believe that they have 40 sports books around the country now, something around that level. So they're growing that way, and MGM is growing that way also. But they're doing all kinds of stuff. Caesars is sponsoring the Las Vegas Raiders when they come. I think that's a 15-year deal. So that should be interesting. But Caesars stock is down 25%. MGM stock is down 15%. Wow. And they would just want to get bigger, potentially. And that is not good news for the bettors. I see just huge amounts of value being robbed out of people's pockets to come to Las Vegas. And it's a real concern for us because we love Las Vegas, being in Las Vegas. Right. So, when we have the visitors come in town and they're leaving with empty pockets, they're essentially, already in the pockets of everybody that visits nowadays. Show prices have doubled. Food prices have pretty much doubled. Room rates are up considerably. They've got the resort fees. Now they're charging for parking. And over the last 3 or 4 months, I've noticed that the revenue on the Strip is going down 1.5–2%. Now let's keep in mind that we're in the middle of a robust economy. So the fact that their revenue is going down, the peanut crunchers there must be noticing that. But that would make really, really huge news. I think I might have a stat on that.
But I don't like that, Chris. They're just too big. They're the two biggest anyways. And if they join together, that's gonna make just way too much like monopoly sense for Vegas. You don't want like one company owning 20 casinos because they can dictate the parking. They can dictate whatever they want.
Well, and it's not just Vegas we're talking about. A deal like that would give 50% of the hotel rooms in Las Vegas and Atlantic City to the partnership like that. So Caesars is definitely trying to work out a deal with somebody. They were Fertitta from Golden Nugget, was interested, and if something like this doesn't go down, then Wynn would step in and maybe want to get involved with Caesars. But it does look like there's going to be some sort of a merger coming up, and it's never good news. We know that. It's like William Hill buying up all the sports books and kicking everybody out. So
we want as many diversified lines as we can get, especially with MGM and Caesars being two of them. But you have noticed, because we grab these games on Saturday and Sunday morning, and we've been doing it for years. You have noticed that the Caesars lines are much sharper, right?
Well, Caesars has somebody new running their book. The guy from Caesars, Frank, went over to FanDuel or the other DraftKings. I think he went to. So there is somebody new over at Caesars, and hey, let's give them props. They had their lines up this morning hours before any Las Vegas book had them up in NCAA. I was hitting the screen this morning betting some NCAA games, and not only that, they're by far the earliest with the NCAA totals. So they're not as vanilla as they used to be.
Right.
So they are making some attempts at doing something, and all these lines and all these propositions that they're putting up could be affected by, well, the East Coast starts earlier, so they want to be ready for the East Coast customers, and they put it across their entire platform. And then also they're just getting more volume, so they're not as sensitive to the bets as they were.
Yeah, that's Caesars. I mean, we could tell on Saturdays that their lines have been so much better. I just got a thing in from Oklahoma Brian, guys, because I kept my social media thing on here because I know Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick are traveling, going game to game while we're here. They got a hockey game for us tonight. They just sent it in. Gave you guys a little bonus here on Monday. They like this Arizona tonight minus $1.15 at home in the NHL. That's coming from the boys on the road, going to these big games. And here's one thing that I said, well, your trip was great, Brian. You know what he wrote? What he was complaining about? That they were stuck in from his hotel was 5 minutes away from the LSU stadium. Took him 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours to get spot for a 5-minute.
You can't walk?
That's what I told him.
Come on.
You guys walk, you can use the exercise. Guys, that's Rockford. Rockford's coming in the house. You can hear the music. I'm going to give you out a Rockford play. He's been very good. He's one of our great guys on the thing. Let's see what Rockford's going to have for us. There it is. Rockford is coming in with game 258. Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus $1.30 on the money line. Let me see. Tampa Bay, they're at home against Washington. This Rockford, nobody even knows who this guy is. You've seen his selfie. It looks like a ghost. Nobody knows this guy. But one of the things that he sent in over here that Andrew just gave to me is it looks like the Redskins got a lot of decimated with injuries. So I would jump on this Tampa Bay minus $1.30 at home against Washington early. He thinks this game goes to 4. I kind of like it. Washington doesn't look good. But, Rick, there's Chris. Something that I just got from Ron. What do you think about his angle this year? That, as you guys know, Ron is one of the guys that was in here. He's a college and football expert about these bottom feeders in the NFL. I mean, is the separation getting that big?
I think the separation is huge.
Right.
You kind of surprised me on that one. Just checking my data, Buffalo has been nearly the worst team ever in the 10 to 11 years that I've been running NFL spreadsheets. I don't get my data until tomorrow, but it's been really ugly. Buffalo's the one team that sticks out to me that you just can't touch. Here's an interesting stat on Buffalo. The Bills have 3 offensive touchdowns in the last 6 games.
Wow.
The opponents have 4 defensive touchdowns in the last 6 games. So
That's funny right there.
And here's another interesting tidbit. Peterman threw 3 interceptions, and he lowered his interception ratio from 11 point something to 9 point something. So
that's horrible.
I watched some of that game yesterday, and boy, there's just no. Can they make the line big enough?
No.
It just becomes a lottery of whether you're going to cover up in those nosebleed sports spreads.
I mean, they are so bad. One of the things that, win, lose, or draw, you don't ever want to lose money on a bad team that's got no heart and you're going to have no shot. They're definitely one of them. But he also thinks that in that category, but I'm with you, they're the number one worst. I think that in that category, you got to put Arizona in there. You got to put the Raiders. But Ron even puts the Giants. I don't really agree that the Giants fit that bottom three, do you?
Well, record-wise, they fit, but I think the Giants have the most potential. They've got a lot of tools. They've got tight ends, receivers, running back, quarterback. With Mike Shula running that offensive line, he's running it like Bo Schembechler used to coach the Wolverines, 30 years ago. Right. Just boring and no style or no imagination. But they certainly have been underachieving, and they've been in some games, and they had that easy cover at Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago for us to advance in the last man standing. I'm joking, of course, but I'd put the Giants as the best of those four teams where you could actually bet a game that they're involved in. But those other three are tough. But I'll tell you about Oakland. They're dumping these guys, and they're getting a lot of picks. And I was thinking that Gruden, the game, outlasted him. It's just an embarrassing performance on Thursday night.
Right.
But I got a funny feeling that there's a method to this guy's madness. I really believe he's not an imbecile, and they're scrapping the season, and he's tweaking his relationships, and there is a future for that team.
Well, when we come back, let's get into more about this Oakland team, because we're from here. We got to take a break. Fifth Street Sports, Las Vegas Chris and Frank Perez will be right back. Don't go anywhere. See you in 3 minutes.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055. Text JOIN to 44055.
Looking for the next great crowdfunding opportunity? Check out Pond Hop, the rewards marketing engagement program for small to medium-sized businesses. Currently funding on Kickstarter, this is a great chance to get in at the start of an innovative way to use social media to grow your business. Co-founded by one of Facebook's founding engineers, Pond Hop uses a unique point system to give business owners a fun way to reward their loyal clients and customers. To learn more and to make a pledge, head to Kickstarter and search for Pond Hop, revolutionizing rewards for consumers and businesses. Pond Hop.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source Comscore total visits.
We're back, 5th Street Sports. Over here we have Las Vegas Chris in the house and Frank Perez. We're on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network, also on the American Forces Network. We left off the last segment because we were getting into these bottom feeders in the NFL because the separation is really getting big between the good teams, even the median teams, but these bad teams. We got through Buffalo. Chris even gave us the touchdown ratio, how horrible this team is. But we qualified 4, even though we think one of them's in the gray area, which is the Giants. The next team is this Arizona. Now, how bad is this team?
They're a nothing burger for me. I just can't get a read on them. They're not a team that I don't want to touch their games for some reason. So I don't see value or trash on that team. They're unpredictable, but I can't see myself actually wagering on them the rest of the season. So they're pretty much on the outs for me. Not because they're trash, but they're just unpredictable. I have a feeling they'll eke out some success some way, somehow. Right. But
no,
I'm not optimistic.
They're bad. But now here's another team that you were touching on with Gruden, thinking that this guy has got something up his sleeve, because we know he's talented. And this is Oakland, which is the third of our bottom feeding teams. Okay, we know Oakland's coming here to Vegas in 2 years, and is Gruden's dumping a bunch of guys on the team for all these draft choices. I kind of think that that's a brilliant strategy, Chris. You got to understand that this team was middle of the road anyways. So why not, if you got a 2-year window, which teams never get forecasted, they're going to be in so-and-so in 2 years. Why not implode this team, just like Vegas does to the casinos, implode them, and come back with a real strong team in 2 years?
Yeah, well, they got to keep the car healthy, too. I don't know what the long-term plans are going to be with him, but accumulating all those draft picks can only be a good thing in the NFL, unless you're in Cleveland, and you have Hugh Jackson, but they finally got rid of him last week, so... Right. I'm optimistic about Oakland, but I'm not optimistic necessarily about them this year. But after that embarrassment last week, you'd think that they'd come up and play this week. I'm not even. Who are they playing? You have the schedule there?
Yeah, believe me, they're playing San Diego. They're getting 10 at home against San Diego.
Los Angeles.
Gosh, I keep saying San Diego. Guys, I get another personal foul for that. The L.A. Chargers. They're getting 10 at home from the L.A. Chargers, which is unheard of in this kind of a matchup. They never give each other 10 at home. That's how bad Oakland is. And you know what? As much as I love NFL dogs, especially home dogs, I'm just not. I would definitely not lay it, but I'm definitely not going to bite on that one, because you're not going to get your money's worth with this Oakland.
Yeah, Ron happens to be listening in. According to his power numbers, he's got Buffalo down at 13.5, and the next ranked team is Oakland at 16.5. So a full field goal between those two teams, and he has Arizona the best of them at 19.5. And I kind of agree with that. I certainly do agree with that.
Guys, Sam DeGrazia chimed in on through our YouTube stream here, and he actually agrees on Gruden. He thinks the criticism is unfair and wrong, and he doesn't believe his coaching style is as antiquated as critics think.
Wow, that's Sam DeGrazia on 5th Street Social. What do you think about that? Well, you kind of agree with Sam.
No, I agree with him 100%. I think he's just messing around. I think he's just messing around. He's toying with the whole operation right now. He knows that this season was going to be a whitewash, and maybe even next season's a whitewash. So he's got the ability and the full support. He's got the full security to do whatever he wants and to completely implode that project, and he's doing it. And there's not too many people that have that privilege,
I know. Hey, guys, we got something else on 5th Street Social. Ron Marolowski. Remember, we've had Ron on here. He's an expert, boy. This guy's top of the line with all his stuff. This is what he says. He says the New York Giants sack ratio, they have 10, allowed 31. Oh, whoa.
Jeez.
What's
So
Ron
the
got on
Giants
Oakland? All right, here's another one from Ron. Oakland sack ratio, they have 7, they've allowed 25. Guys,
Those
this is
numbers are
so
insane.
big because this is where a team just can't get it going. There's nothing worse than when to stall a drive on a sack. And when you have those kind of ratios, I mean, Ron's right on the money. That's a money stat to me.
No, and it touches base on what I was saying, is keeping your quarterback healthy. I don't know whether anybody saw the Vikings game, but Stafford was sacked 10 times. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous, and I think it was seven more close calls. I forget what the terminology is, but it was a really, really ugly game for the Lions.
Guys, see that stat from Ron right there? I would say at least 70 to 80% of these trends and stats. All right, they're fun to know and fun to hear, but they don't really make you money. A sack ratio stat is so big because we all know teams that can't protect their quarterback get drives going, and now they got to keep passing. They're getting sacked. They have no running game. You got no prayer when you cannot protect your quarterback going out to back to pass. Hey, but here's something about Ron. Ron, I got to give you credit because I know you're listening to the show, and Chris doesn't even know it, but I bet $150 and $250 on 2 different props you gave me. One of them was, if everybody recalls when Ron was here, one of them was on Holmes for the Chiefs to have the most passing yards. I got 33 to 1. He got it at 26. I shopped around and got 33, and also on Andrew Luck. Also on Tyreek Hill and the other receiver to get the most receiving yards. Well, right now we're in first, drawing live at all the other ones. That was really good info from Ron early before the season even started.
Yeah, and he's always preaching paying close attention to pass defense, but and I know the pass defense stats this year in the NFL are completely absurd. It used to be in the NFL that you weren't going to sniff success at a higher pass defense of higher than 60%. Now you've got, I think Tampa Bay was at 75%. Wow. They're allowing 3 out of 4 passes to be completed coming into last week, and I'm guessing it didn't get any better last week, but no. You know, it's halfway through the season, and I brought up some interesting stats because it's always interesting to know how the NFL is going as a whole. So we're halfway through the season, and I was curious, what have the underdogs done? What have the home teams done? What have the home dogs done? And what's the over-unders? And it's really amazingly even. It's amazing how they get it right, at least this part of it. The underdogs are winning at a 53% rate. They're 69-60. The home teams are winning 65 and 63. The home dogs have been the best for the player, 25 and 19. That's 57%.
Okay.
And the over/unders 67 and 65. So
what an efficient market, I got to tell you.
So 3 out of those 4 stats are coin flips.
So it's all about shopping, getting that line value, like Oklahoma Brian, one of the early market entry. You got to get those early numbers. Just like we gave you Rockford today at $1.30 with Tampa Bay. Get this early. You know, Washington's got a lot of injuries. You don't want to be looking at $1.65, $1.70 come Saturday or Sunday. Get in here early on these early market entry is the key, because you can tell just how tight and efficient these NFL markets are. Look at the stat you just read off. Come on. 132 games, and it's 67 and 65 on the totals.
Well, you know what's really odd, though, is I've noticed the NFL lines have really started to move a lot more the last 2 years. When we were doing this 5-6 years ago, boy, did it take a lot to move a point spread. And, now you've got games, moving 3 points. It's not uncommon to have a handful of games that have moved 2 points. So,
gosh, they're never off on their opening market. But, speaking of the NFL, okay, now you've got some really good numbers on the Super Contest, which is probably the biggest sports contest, the sharpest guys in there. What kind of numbers you got on these top guys?
Well, here's what's really odd is it was either 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. They released the consensus picks, which are the most popular picks. And usually fading the public was always a good thing. And even though these guys are paying big bucks to be in the contest, let's face it, half the people are drawing dead. So and they've got no hope, and they're just Joe Squares, at least half of the people. But 2 years ago, the consensus picks only won at a 35 or 38% rate. So,
Wow.
you know, boy, you just wanted to fade these picks.
Right.
And I just happened to notice going into tonight, the last 3 weeks, these guys have been on the ball 13-1. 13-1, and they need Tennessee to make it 14-1 over the last 3 weeks, and 25-19 overall. If you're going with the consensus, so I don't know whether these guys are sharper or whether it's just an easier season for people, but it's a turnaround from years past that the consensus is actually something you would want to be betting with.
They got. We need Tennessee tonight. We're in the last man standing. We got Tennessee plus 6.5, which we're very happy with because all of our other possible selections would have lost. But 13-1. Now, how do you think How do you think you would do in the blind in that super contest? You know how the sheet comes out. I think what does it come out Wednesday afternoon, right?
Yeah.
How do you think you would do if you just blindly just took your best 5 against with line value? You know, when it's +7 on the board, but on the sheet it's -5. You think you'd be ahead of the game taking just line value?
I think you would, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But, you know, getting back to that, I don't know whether you guys covered this last week. There's so many people in that super contest that if there were so many people tied for 100th place,
right,
that the payout, if the season had ended, they paid $1,500 to get in, they would have only gotten about $220 back. Coming in a 100th place, so and 100th
what kind
place.
of record did you need for 100?
100th place was at 65%. So
Wow.
65% for a 100th place. So open and honest, full disclosure. We don't get in that contest. It's a lottery. You can't fade. You can't fade numbers like that.
Now, you know, just to put it in perspective, now to all of our listeners, check this out. Okay, it costs $1,500 to join this contest. How excited would you be if after 65 picks you were 64% and you weren't in the top 100? You weren't in the top 100. You went 64%, and there's got to be zero value there for people who, if you want it for entertainment, but for value and putting your money down to get back a return, it's got to be one of the worst deals in the world, right?
But think about it. The guy leading is 35-9, and he's got all these people right on his butt. How would you like to be 35-9 and not be guaranteed anything?
God, imagine that, guys. Well, we don't want to. We love the Westgate, and it's a great contest. We also endorse Kelly in Las Vegas. She's a great proxy. She's with Wager Talk. We don't want to say nothing bad. We're just going to say it's tough. If you're going to do it as a hobby, let's say you got five guys, you each want to put in $300, you make one pick and you cheer. But if you're doing it for value and money, it's not there. It's not there. Not at 65%, and you're in 100th place.
I don't think so.
Really.
Hey, a funny thing that I saw today. Can you believe there's a 2-7 team in the NCAA that's laying 18 points to another team? In the Big Ten.
No
and it's
way.
not Rutgers.
No way.
Coming off a big, giant game that they had a chance of knocking off Ohio State. Nebraska was in that game. They had a fighting chance. They come into a letdown game, and a 2-7 Nebraska is going to lay 18 points to Illinois, who just laid a whipping, like 55-14 on Minnesota.
That's right.
Boy, is that a don't make sense play of the week for me.
When I see a play, guys, when I see a play like that, it looks just it looks so stupid. I think we're going to take it. That's how stupid it looks. We're going to get ready for a break. When we come back, it's a short segment. It's the last segment, and tomorrow is Tuesday, and it's the last day to vote. Chris has some really, really interesting things on the election. We'll be right back. Fifth Street Sports.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit, and 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
All right, folks, we're back here at 5th Street Sports. I'm with Las Vegas. You can catch Chris at Las Vegas Chris on his Twitter handle. Get on there. I'm Frank Perez. We're on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network. Chris, tomorrow's the last day to vote in this in these midterms. What do you think?
I am so depressed that my phone is not going to be ringing all day long with robocalls, and that I won't be able to see these really entertaining commercials. I can't believe it's almost over again. So, but no, seriously, what a disaster! I can't wait for this to be over. But there are some interesting betting propositions out there. It's pretty much a stone cold lock. The Senate is going to go to the Republicans. You can get minus 850 or minus somewhere in that range. You can take that to the bank. That's a pretty good bet. The other goofy one is for the GOP to control the House. If you think the Dems are going to control it, you've got to lay somewhere around 250. You can get plus 225 neighborhood.
What do you think of that? Where's the value there?
Well, let me put it to you this way. The Rasmussen poll is the only poll out of any poll that gives the Republicans the lead by 1%. Every other poll has it ranging from Democrats all the way up to a plus 15%. And we're seeing the exact same trends we saw before the 2016 election. So you don't know it yet, but we put a little bit on the Republicans. Just a sandwich, just to have a little bit of action on it. I think that nobody really knows what's going to go in. There's 30. It's all going to boil down to 38 House races, and 31 of them are Republican held. And I think that they have a fighting shot. I really do.
Don't you guys be careful on laying that chalk with the Democrats to win the House. We think there's an outside shot. Remember those polls. We were all over Trump in this last election to make money. Forget those exit polls and all that stuff. Do not lay the price with the Democrats to win the House. But, we will never lay 850, but it is a stone cold lock on the thing. Guys, it's been a fun show. Las Vegas Chris, thanks for coming in. Well, he's one of us anyways. We'll be right back. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. We appreciate you. Fifth Street Sports. Frank Perez, Las Vegas Chris. We'll see you tomorrow with Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick. Thank you for listening.
USA